Anytime you work on a website, you're going to have elements that are built that don't pass compliance. Compliance means that the site has been built to follow all the rules of the Internet Standards Organizations. The Drupal out-of-the-box installation is compliant with those standards, but you add on some modules and that module author may not have paid much attention to that, or you create some content that's formatted in a certain way, or you write an article in a Word doc and you copy and paste it in. Any of those things can kind of break the compliance. Now, Google is not going to kick you out of their engine because you're not compliant, but you could confuse the Googlebot. It may not be able to distinguish between what's content and what's markup, and certainly other robots from other search engines are not as robust as Google's is. And then of course, if you have anybody visiting your site who's blind or has some other disability and they're using a screen reader, being out of compliance is going to make it difficult for them to use your website. So as much as possible, you want to stay in compliance. The way that we check compliance on a website is by using W3C, which is an organization that provides some different markup validation services. So here I'm at validator.w3.org, and what I'm able to do is paste in the URL of my website and hit check, and it's going to check my site for compliance with the standards of the web. So there, it's already done. Your document was successfully checked as XHTML 1.0 strict. I did not produce any errors whatsoever, which is great. And I haven't actually done a whole lot of crazy things on my site, so I'm not at all surprised that I passed my check there. There's another one called jigsaw.w3.org/css-validator, and this will check my CSS of my site and tell me if I have any errors. So I click that. Ooh, we found some errors. So now we go through and we take a look at those errors, and as much as possible we try to go and correct those so that we don't have any of these nasty compliance issues with my site. And wow, we've got a lot of compliance issues with Garland. So we probably shouldn't be using Garland anyway. It's the default that comes with Drupal 6, but a lot of issues with Garland. We're going to need to go fix those. And then finally, I'm going to show you validator.w3.org/checklink, which is a link checking service that will actually go through and look at all the links on your site and tell you if you have any broken links, which is really helpful. You don't want to have broken links. That's bad usability, and it really turns people off when they're on your site. Now, the site we've been working on, yourdrupalsite.com, frankly, there are just not very many links on that site. So what I'd like to do is run it on something a little bit more interesting like Drupal.org. So I'm going to go ahead and click check. And now it's processing, which you can see here, and it'll go through and it'll process, and this might take a while, and then it'll give us a report. So making sure that your site is compliant with W3C is just one of the steps in a good SEO campaign. You want to make sure that any content that's added, any of the modules that you put in to your site is not breaking the compliance models that have been put out there by the organizations. Good things about that are going to be that you're not going to confuse the robots as they come to your site. They're really going to be able to look at your site and tell the difference between what's markup and what's content. And then also any visitors that come in that are disabled and are using screen readers will have as good of an experience as they possibly can when they visit your website.